So a couple years ago, I was at home late at night and I got a text message from a Marine friend of mine asking me if I had time to talk. My friend was a Purple Heart recipient, multiple tours overseas. And the nature of the call was, is life worth living? Is everything that I've been through, everything that I've experienced, worth the end result? Why am I here and why should I continue? I'm Pete Cline. I'm Executive Director and founder of VetMotorsports. And we take veterans with service-connected injuries and place them in the motorsports teams as a non-clinical therapy program. Why do we do it? I used to race, and in that time, I accumulated all these countless connections and all these amazing experiences. And I thought, how can I take something and make it transformational? How could I take this thing that I'm doing and make it a springboard or something that somebody could get involved in that could change their lives? Or even if they didn't want to be in motorsports, they could see the full potential of themselves. And that's how we got started. And one of the first things we needed to do is we needed to figure out, and before I go into this, I want to let you know, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about the nonprofit world. I didn't know anything about the military culture, because I'm a civilian. So for me, I had to learn everything. So we had to figure out the parallels between military culture and motorsports. What we found was that if you put a veteran into a adrenaline-filled, high-risk environment with teamwork, they'd thrive because they're used to it. They want to be there. If the end result, if you don't do your job and it's going to be catastrophic or possibly life-ending, they're used to that environment and they thrive. So we figured that piece out. What we didn't have figured out was the language of trust on this new pathway that we decided to take. How do we learn trust? How do we learn that language from them? And what we found out over the years of piloting the program and putting on experiences for veterans was that if we were honest and earnest with our intentions, if we laid out clear ground rules and expectations, they would thrive. So as we continued through the program, we figured out that trust was an action. It could be words, but it was action. And you only had one time to create that trust moment. So in 2014, we were provided an opportunity to go to Pikes Peak, Colorado for one of the most prestigious uphill races on the planet. And we would be there for 7 days as a nonprofit, taking 2 Marines that I didn't know very well and put them into a team that I didn't know at all, and I was going to be there. And how do we build that one moment of trust? The team sat down with the veterans and laid out clear expectations of their behavior and actually had them perform the duties that they were going to be doing on the mountain in the parking lot of the hotel and then show them how to do it the right way. And then the veterans told them their expectations of what was to happen and how they wanted to be treated. And I was there to moderate and make sure that the right words were used and make sure that everything was copacetic and make sure everybody was feeling good about themselves. And so for 7 days, we went up and down Pikes Peak, 8,000 feet, 11,000 feet, sometimes using bottled oxygen to get the job done. 3 a.m. in the van with no windows, back down at 10 a.m. And then I was doing their laundry and getting them meals and being there for them. And they were there for me because if they were at risk or if they felt not comfortable in a situation, they would come to me and they say, hey, can you remove me from this situation? Or if they thought I was at risk, they would come to me and say, hey, we need to be around you because this environment right now is not safe for you. And we were earning that trust and building that language with the team, with each other. And that's us on the mountain towards the end. So why did he call me? He called me because he had that shared experience with us and with me. And he could tell me his darkest secrets. He could tell me the darkest thoughts. And he opened the door a little bit to the world that he lived in for me, which is a gift that very rarely we get to have with anybody. I can tell you that he's still here, that he's my best friend, and we talk almost daily. He's an amazing person. But we had to figure out what trust was, the language of trust. And what trust is action, it is learning a vocabulary, it is learning and establishing the rules and clear-cut communications, but really more importantly than that, it's being honest and forthright with yourself and presenting yourself as somebody that you are and not somebody that you're not. So when I leave here tonight, I want you to think about this on your path and on your journey. The journey that you've taken, the journey that you're on, or maybe the journey that you want to be on. I want you to think about trust and how trust has played a part in shaping your path and how the language of trust can shape your future path. Thank you.